And joining us live from London this evening is Reham Khan. She's a British Pakistani journalist, also known to have been married briefly to Imran Khan in 2015. She's had a lot to say about what's happening in Pakistan right now. Reham, good to have you. Welcome for being with us here on India Today. You know, we're all waiting on this speech that Imran Khan is supposed to be giving the nation very shortly. He didn't give it yesterday. It was postponed. We're waiting on it happening today. So my first question to you is, when he does make it, Reham, what do you think it's going to be about?
Well, all I can say, Shiv, is only you are waiting for the speech. We've heard it many a time before, and we don't expect anything different. I think it's going to be very predictably unpredictable, unpredictably predictable or predictably unpredictable. It's same. I think that a lot of people in Pakistan and those who are observers of Imran would say there would be more of me, World Cup, me, celebrity cricketer, me again, and the wonderful life in the West that he has left behind to sacrifice, and perhaps a few tigers thrown in, fighting like a tiger. I can summarize. So I wouldn't waste too much time. I can tell you honestly that I haven't watched any of his speeches since he took office because, frankly, they're repetitive and boring. And
you know, he doesn't have the numbers, Reham. You know, he doesn't have the numbers to survive what's being thrown at him right now. Politically speaking, you know, we are pretty much, even if you just look at the data, he still has a couple of days to go before, you know, the actual vote happens. But why do you think Imran Khan isn't, you know, simply resigning and exiting gracefully? Because the numbers seem completely stacked against him. The opposition is in no mood to listen and compromise.
Shiv, I know that, you know that, the world knows that. But what Imran knows is, completely different. So we know that Germany and Japan do not share borders, but the history lessons that Imran has had are, quite different to the ones you and I have had. So to expect him to have the same understanding that the rest of the world has is perhaps giving him too much, credit for being realistic. I think he's delusional. He's always been delusional. And I think that is why he has this God complex, which I've written about and I've spoken about several hundred times. And so I think that the fact that he doesn't have numbers, we knew that for a very long time. Effectively, since the Monday just gone, he isn't really the prime minister because he's lost the majority. 177 is the number that the opposition has. That's guaranteed. And of course, this isn't counting the dissidents, which are close to 25 plus, they say. So I think there is another surprise planned also. He has been gently nudged by the chief of the army staff, as well as other people, to gracefully resign. Grace is something, isn't a word that I think exists in his dictionary. Had grace been in his dictionary, he wouldn't have taken the route that he has done in the past. Grace wasn't something that I equate with him, and I didn't see any of that while I was married to him. And the reason I came back to Pakistan last year in November.
What, are you saying that he is so delusional, Reham, and, is so full of this God complex that he's failing to, read the writing on the wall? It's one thing to not read the signs on your political journey over the last year, maybe. But to actually look at it right now, when it's down to hard numbers with only 48 hours to go, does that surprise you that he's deluded about that as well? Or do you think he has a chance? He thinks he sniffs a chance of being able to survive this?
It doesn't surprise me one bit. It doesn't surprise me one bit. I've been in Pakistan since last November, 2021, and I came back because I couldn't understand why they were delaying the no confidence vote. I just thought, okay, fine, perhaps it's up to us ladies to give them a little bit of confidence to go forward with it. Everyone was so scared, and there's no reason to be scared. There was no reason for him to continue. There was no reason for the opposition to sit in parliament. They should have boycotted back in 2018, because obviously, this was not an election; it was a selection. So I couldn't compute, my mind couldn't compute why he was there, why he was allowed to continue for the last 4 years, bringing misery to the entire region, not only the Pakistani people. And of course, ruining our image. I mean, it's the thing that he's cooked up now, this complete film story. I mean, it's like a B-grade film story that he's cooked up about this foreign invasion, hashtag foreign invasion. I mean, he's delusional enough to think that he has, he can possibly touch the statue of Zulfikar Ali Bhutto. And so he is that delusional. That is my experience. That is what I've seen of him. And he doesn't listen. He doesn't listen to advice. And had he listened to advice, perhaps I would have still been married to him. Perhaps other people wouldn't have left him. But he is, you see, he's a diva. He's a celebrity diva who only wants to listen to flattery, to compliments. He has this, the typical diva personality where you need to pump up his ego. He needs to hear the applause. He needs to hear the sound of his name. And I think that even in cricket or in Bollywood, you need to have the performance.
Reham, thank you very much for being with me.